Hello and welcome back to our Band of Blades campaign. We are back. People have moved across continents and stuff since last time. So and some people have had a cough, so also very serious matters. But of course, that couldn't contain our hype for this. For getting back to this, this episode, we're going to do some a little bit of a different format than we've done the other sessions. A little bit more chill and getting into characters. But before we get into that, I will do our usual introduction round around the table, say who we are and how hyped we are, or how much you are also suffering with a cough or something like that. I don't know. I am Mikael. My pronouns are they, them. This is my channel. I am, I guess, somehow a little bit a community organizer now at my own little RPG playing corner of the internet. Where also I guess this game is a little bit is organized in for now. There's probably going to come some more things on my channel that comes from there. So if you're interested in playing RPGs with good people, then let me know and I'll hook you up. So that's my plug, I guess. Also, you can go on my Twitter, and my DMs are open and stuff, and there I also tweet about RPGs there sometimes. So yeah, that's me. You want to go next, Matthias?
Yeah, hi. Matthias, he, him. And I'm excited because if you look on the map, the end is nigh. You can see Skydagger keep on the map now on stream as well. I mean, depends. I mean, we could turn south at Fort Callisto, right? Like, theoretically. If we want to make things impossible for us.
Go back.
There's a way south from Fort Callisto after that. Maybe not the wisest decision to make though, but I know I'm thinking a little bit like in Fall of Magic. There's no rule that doesn't say you always have to move to the right of the map. You could also go back again, right? If that's what the fiction demands.
Yeah, I have some problems imagining how the fiction would demand we're going back in this instance, but theoretically, I think probably you're right. Yeah. You can go next, Jim, if you want.
Hey, I am Jim Crocker, and folks that know me from outside of my playing online in this game probably know me because I've been a retailer of role-playing games for many, many years. These days I sell them at conventions all up and down the East Coast, the Midwest. I just got back from Texas, where I went to PAX South to sell games on behalf of my friends at Indie Press Revolution and Goodman Games. And I play a whole lot because I'm basically, working 24 weekends a year. And during the weekdays, I get to do fun stuff like this at a time when other people are at work, which is just fantastic and a huge privilege. And I'm really grateful, Mikkel, that you've invited me to be part of this because I've been having a lot of fun with it. So really looking forward to what promises to be a little like I hesitate to say that it's going to be more laid back or mellow or anything like that, but it is definitely going to be a role-playing focused session where maybe we are not quite so much at the mercy of the dice as we have been at some of our other stuff, and we get to see people just being people and getting along with each other and stuff like that, and not getting along with each other. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be fun. If you want to see what I'm doing with all the couple of hundred games I play a year and the conventions I attend and all that kind of stuff, I am at jimlikesgames.com, and I'm on Twitter at Jim Likes Games. And just like everybody else, well, maybe not everybody else, but certainly Mikhail. And my DMs are open if you want to talk to me about RPG stuff, or learn about what I'm doing at cons, or ask me advice on role playing by virtue of the fact that I'm old and have played a lot of them because I'm old. I can, I'm happy to provide answers. So, and I think that's enough from me. So let's hear from Joelle.
Hello, I'm Joelle Van Dyne. I use she, her pronouns. Yeah, I don't got nearly as much going on. I'm the one that moved continents. I'm back on the East Coast of the US, so maybe I'll get to see Jim at a convention sometime.
You're a creator, though, so you're like actual published designer, so you should probably mention that.
Oh, yeah, I have an adventure called A Place to Call Home on DM's Guild. The Tier 1 D&D 5e adventure. So, yeah, I guess if anybody wants to, you can pick up that. My DMs, I believe, are also open on Twitter, so if you get that adventure and you want any help, running it or talking about any of the lore stuff that's in it, you can let me know, and I'm always happy to talk about doppelgangers and stuff. I think that's it. I'm still half asleep. I'm very jet lagged, but I'm also looking forward to having a little bit of a different game. Still a dark military fantasy, but in this one, we find out who's been kissing. So I'm excited.
Yes. Yeah. As per usual, I was thinking, at least this is going to be a little bit more unplanned, as I don't have a flow sheet to follow in the same degree that I usually do. What we talked about is probably doing still some of the campaign phase stuff, even before we do things. But first things that is on my list until we start doing more free play scenes is to do the back at camp scene. As we remember last, I'm gonna also talk a bit about where we are in the campaign. As Matthias mentioned, last session we saw our band going through the Talgon forest and protecting the sacred place within it. And we also are moving on from there. So that means that next session then, because we're only doing free play scenes this session, is going to be at Fort Callisto. And for those who have not played this campaign before, which is, I guess, both all our players and most, I think probably also everyone who's watching mostly, Fort Callisto is a little bit of a big battle kind of this situation, a little bit of a Helm's Deep of Band of Blades in some way. So it's this big fortress where there is a military presence that has kind of made a stand there at some to some degree, and to get into Fort Callisto, the only mission we can choose next time is to fight our way in. So in addition to having to see probably some smooches possibly, there's also the fact that we are going into this, the Legion is going into this big battle that might be fatal to some of our members, which is like a very real possibility of being in the Legion. But that's an added presence that makes for a good situation for some drama that we can utilize to make sad feels and stuff. And also the usual trope of having to see some smooches before the big battle, because it might be too late after. So on that note, I'm going to have a look at back at camp scenes. Yeah, and I think maybe I have an idea here. So I think I'm going to choose one of the medium morale ones. I don't know what our morale is, but I'm pretty sure that it isn't lower than medium. But you can confirm it. I guess it's who keeps track. It's Marshall who keeps track of the. That's right.
Yep, that's the Marshall that's got that. It's not on my sheet anyway.
What do you need?
Current morale.
Oh, that's don't let me lie, 7.
Yeah. So I'm choosing news arise of devastation from a different front.
Is this where we like hear about Fort Jalisco and its situation there? Or do you have something?
No, I think this is more like what happened to the towns in the south, or what's going on up north to the, on the long road or something like that.
Yeah, I think maybe I was thinking from the south, possibly. Because that route also goes through the forest, so it seems a little bit like there's a possibility of someone seeing some of that. So,
well, I mean the road, the route that goes Long Road, Barrack Mines, Kalos Pass ends where we are right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Anybody that came out of the Kalos Pass would be meeting us right there in the forest where we're camped at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, or people coming up meet us on the road to the fort. Either way, but both of those are cool.
Well, I'm open for suggestion. I was thinking probably there's more people to the south, and that's also where the other part of the undead army was going.
Sure.
Yeah, there's this town marked way in the south that isn't a campaign location, right?
Yeah. Yeah, also Westlake and Eastlake, there are towns.
Yeah.
By the looks of it.
How about like, because we haven't touched Westlake and Eastlake in this campaign, right? So we don't even need to go into what they actually are, but we could imagine something like that Eastlake has fallen, that undead even landed at the shores of whatever city is at the way to the south here. So, like that, like we had the way following us from the west, right? And now there's a second army of the undead moving in from the south.
Yeah,
and we're like, we chose the right way to go.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's dire news.
Well, Render was behind us, so maybe that's like Blighter was coming up from. I think Blighter was in the south.
Actually, it was Blighter who followed you into the forest, corrupting like the nature there. So it's Render who ravaged the plains, and I think that's exactly it. Like you have been making pretty fast pace through the forest, and have managed to like keep Blighter at some distance at least. But when you like, I think what this is that you're moving, and you've been moving like quite. I imagine like 12 hours a day of like actually a march, and it's people are getting
Yeah, I mean our last really no kidding disastrous mission that we actually played out was on the plains. Was that that Sunstrider Camp one where like the cadre got mauled and like somebody got an arrow through their shoulder that corrupted them and stuff like this. It was, and like that was bad news out there where where they could see us from miles away.
Yeah. How are we looking in terms of time? We're looking fairly okay-ish.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. You are.
Yep.
but I think for like the framing of this, I think like how it looks, that that you don't get like any, there's no like messengers or anything like that. You just come to Fort Callisto and you see that Render's forces is already there, and you know that there's no way the people of Sunstrider camp and stuff like that could have moved faster than you have through the forest. So wherever they have gone, they've not gone to the safe place.
Yeah, because we had like mystical shortcuts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez, yeah.
And I imagine like you've been probably doing pretty hard days of marching through the forest, and people are probably like already on edge a little bit because they're tired and they haven't slept a full night in such a long time because you haven't been in a safe place. And like when you arrive there, and you also arrive to see like that you have to fight your way through there to get into Fort Callisto, which you have to. That's like the situation you're in now. It's like very. We have a high morale here, but I imagine like this is a medium morale scene, so it's definitely like this kind of situation.
This is so Henry V, Night Before Agincourt like thing happening right now. I just feel like, like I half expect the commander to like put on a cloak to disguise herself so that she can go talk to the men, without them knowing who she is, or something like that. That it's like there's gotta like everybody's nervous and freaked out, but you've gotta like believe you can do it and stuff like that. So I really like that as a kind of as a framing thing. Yeah,
and I think. Yeah, go ahead.
That would be super interesting actually to see, because that would open an opportunity for her to interact a little bit with like your normal recruits or soldiers that we've gotten to know.
Yeah, I like that too, and I think because I put a clock on the Amber Wolves for distrusting the leadership. I think that's the scene I want to set. Like it's the commander with like this hood, like walking in on them, discussing how things look bleak and what are they doing, even trying to escape to Skydagger. We should be defending people, right? Is there any wishes for people to play in the Amber Wolves? Jim, you gotta get to play the commander naturally, but the rest of you.
I think it could be interesting to see Violet, the rider of the War Moose.
Yeah.
How she's settling into that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I agree. So is the War Moose with the Amber Wolves? Like it's kind of it's gotta be, right? Because it's only Violet who can ride it.
I'm gonna defer that to the quartermaster. Is it?
I think it probably is, because like it's too big to go into like, even if we don't have stables because we're not like on the move all the time. Like I think the quartermaster would be like, I don't want it to scare the horses. That thing is horrifying. Like,
and it kind of goes where it wants. Like it's not like if it like we don't put it with them. It's decided it wants to hang around with them. Like I can't imagine that that if we if we could like lead it somewhere else.
It's like a 12-foot tall magic moose. Yeah. Like
it certainly weighs like at least a ton or something like that. That's probably
like maybe we tried to put it behind like a gate or something and it just like walked through it.
Yeah, so I imagine
like a regular moose in the real world can get up to 1,500 pounds.
Yeah,
like just a regular moose. So that's
Yeah, so to
We've got an SUV moose.
yeah, a Humvee moose. So yeah, I to paint the scene a little bit, I think I imagine it being like still in this forest of like these big leaf trees. It's like it is like this. The whole ground is everywhere is like filled with brown leaves, but it's getting a little bit. I guess in the forest a little bit lighter almost because the leaves are shedding, so there's not just like thick cover everywhere anymore. But also it lets the rain come through, and it's been raining for a couple of days, and as we are moving and we're not allowed to put up fire most nights, that means that all our clothes are wet, and it's pretty cold, and I imagine probably probably for the for the privileged people of the Emberwolves that has a warm moose. I imagine like that even being like a little bit of boon if it would let them lean into to it.
A toasty war moose.
Yeah, but I imagine it being that they put up their tent, and they're like maybe you see like the war moose outside there. They're like putting up their tent right now, and the war moose is laying down, and maybe I think Violet is like taking care of it, whatever that is. It's been pretty quiet for a while, but there's like this tension in the air. Like everyone knows that that there's like a feeling of people being a bit annoyed and having like this and being like a bit on edge, and I think that's where we start our scene with the commander coming cloaked into the situation, and probably who of the Emberwolves do you imagine like saying this or starting this like conversation of it feeling hopeless?
How about it's so I imagine it's just after like supper, like we I think it's I think it may be Meaty who basically maybe like just scrounged up the remaining bolts from that were filled with like some kind of more root than meat stew, and maybe we the Ember Wolves have a little ritual going on where no matter like after supper everyone gets like a small little it's like a shot glass, but it's not out of glass, it's just a little wooden cup, and everyone gets one filled, but there's two more than people are here, so Midi pours one out basically for Sverina and for Viscount Cyprian Loprio as well. We're no longer with the Ember Wolves.
And as you're doing that, there is a it's chilly, so people have started to wear cloaks and hoods and stuff like that and everything. There is a fairly tall, somewhat bulky figure in one of those kind of like thick cloak and hoods, leading just like a big old draft horse, and behind it is pulling a sled, like a sledge that has, or maybe it's like a simple wagon, and the wagon is just stacked with firewood. And like this is a thing that just like the soldiers don't have to worry about dealing with firewood. Like we have people at the camp that do run errands and stuff like that. And, comes up, and as you guys are talking, this person that has pulled, that has led the horse up and kind of, just like had it stop there, pats it on the neck a little bit, is going to be like just, hefting arms of firewood and carrying it over to, the place where there's just a couple of stakes driven into the ground, 10 feet away from the fire, and just kind of, stacking it back up so that you have a load of firewood for, keeping your fire going. Yeah. And they're doing that as you're having your conversation.
Yeah. And I think Meaty, we know Meaty like a little bit as like somewhat of a gray mouse. But she's been with the Legion for a bit now, right? So we just see sweet little Meaty like just toss back the alcohol like it's nothing, and then with like a gaze that ends in the middle distance, she's just like, Calico, it's entirely surrounded, they say. So we've got them behind us, we've got them in front, and who knows what's moving up from the south.
Yeah, and I think Sergeant Flood, she like looks at the firewood that's coming, and just like says, well, if that's what the commander says, she says we're going to run, then that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, but run where?
Yeah, and I think you probably like see her hesitating a little bit, and then deciding not to answer that, so it just hangs in the air.
I think Violet is probably like adorning the war moose with like foliage and stuff, like before the battle, to make, because people are going to see it obviously, and like she wants to make sure it's really like impressive looking, and she just kind of like turns from like doing that, like maybe like tying extra like branches to its antlers and stuff like that to make them even more like huge and sharp looking, and she's like, we're the vanguard, we only go one direction. It's forward or
die.
Nothing. Yeah.
Meaty drinks Sverina one ice drink. Unprompted, unasked, or like, yeah.
Yeah. Sir takes, I think, takes Viscount's cup from you, and like, where are you at this point, Commander?
I have finished like stacking up the wood, and I think I'm gonna like I take a couple of logs and I do that thing where I walk over and like toss them on the fire, and there's like a little bit of a shower of sparks and stuff, and I grab a poker and kind of put them in place so that they'll, and that will cause the fire to burn, to kind of catch back up and get a little brighter over the next, few minutes here.
Yeah, and I think also she. I also want to describe how she looks. Actually, she has like I think she, even though we've been walking these long marches, her hair is like nicely braided, going like back in a tail, and her hair back is like slightly blue, and she like looks at you just like almost like an animal, like studying its prey in a way, and then like smiles at what was just said about the fighting, and just like, you should have a cup. Come here.
And just like there's like a nod, and I walk over, and like assuming a cup is offered to me, I'll take it. I hold it up, I give it a sniff, and then whoop, just toss it back. Boom. Not the best I've had, not the worst. And hand the cup back.
That was Viscount Cyprian Loprio's cup. And I think she just also like looks at you.
And I shrug, and I say, why did you offer it to me?
We're celebrating Mitali's promotion.
What did you do to earn it?
You're muted.
And Mitty's like, it takes a moment. And she's like, what? My what?
This promotion that you're celebrating.
She very confused looks between Azure, then to Violet, to the stranger, then back to Azure, and then looks over to Vermilion and Sapphire, who are like kind of newer but probably older than her, and like, in her mind at least, more experienced. And I'm what?
Yeah. You don't have to put up the tent anymore. That's you're a senior now.
I'm a
Amber Wolves.
Is she being promoted? I thought it was some of the other rookies.
No,
I can't
not
even
really.
keep track anymore.
It's just like someone more senior died, and now and now they have to do they're in the not doing the shit job spot.
Yeah.
As soon as the commander gets someone new in here, or I guess that's the marshal's job, or I don't know, whoever, then you don't have to set up the tent anymore. It's going to be their job.
Millie looks supremely uncomfortable.
That is a promotion, I say. All of us aspire to not perform menial tasks. And I kind of like, point at the wood wagon and the wood pile, to kind of.
Go to the quartermaster then. I'm sure you can join up with us. You want to be promoted from laborer? We've got spots open. She like gestures to the cup that you're drinking from.
Okay, yeah. And I hold it and I kind of look at it and I say, but this is the but this is the Viscount's cup.
And it was another woman's before hers. And another before hers. And then I think it was someone I didn't know before that, from the big battle where we lost everybody.
I wonder if it wasn't Valentina's before that.
Yeah, probably one of them was hers.
Well, anyway, we're gonna need plenty of more people until we get to Skydagger Keep, so don't worry about that.
So I nod and I hand the cup back. And to say, I suspect there's someone better suited to that than I.
It's a wise choice.
I think Violet takes it and lets the moose lick the drinks from the bottle. Gives them a pat.
Kind of like that as scene. I don't know how you all feel.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, and I just lead the horse away to the next campsite. That's excellent.
Cool. Well, cool. And then I'm gonna just ask first. Do we want to do the campaign phase now?
I don't see why not. I guess we may as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Here's a question.
We want to do the tales because we can get stuff that affect what's going on with that, right?
That is a thing.
Or the tales part of the campaign phase.
Yeah, and didn't our chosen also level up?
Yeah, they did.
So that's also a thing we might, one, choose, and be root somewhere in the fiction of what we see about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. So, okay, I'm gonna cough again. Just hold.
Yeah, we can just as it doesn't have to be this one thing first, or.
Yeah, but just to make sure, because doing the campaign phase also means that I have to keep track that you're doing the procedural stuff.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna do that, and the lore keeper thing is at the first thing. So first, commander, you get to mark increase time and pressure by 1 each.
Okay. Time by 1. Pressure by 1. Got it.
And then a quartermaster, you must spend 1 food used to feed the legion, or the legion loses 2 morale.
Okay.
And then the lore keeper tells their tales of the legion.
All right.
So we have 2 tales to tell here. I guess also, yeah, it could be a good idea to actually look at those abilities before, in case we want to tie it in to something of that here, possibly.
Yeah. So did you post those somewhere?
I didn't, but you should be able to.
Oh, I thought they were in the. Didn't you put them in the Discord?
I don't
if you
think
click
I
on
did.
which ones are you asking about now?
But if you click on the chosen one in the top there, you should be able to go into the.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about the chosen one. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
But yes, I did put in the stories of the Legion.
Yeah.
They are also on the Lawkeepers one.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Is there any of those chosen abilities that stand out to you?
The one that when we advance, we don't have to spend food is pretty awesome. Although we're late in the game, so I don't know.
We have 2 food left.
Horn God's Bounty, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. The horn one goes and you find a big fish in the camp.
Yes, yeah. I also really like I also kind of love the ones that are a little more story gamey, like we can all speak to and understand wild beasts. Like we can actually talk to our horses and stuff like that.
And the war moose.
And the war moose, which is also kind of cool. And there's also that one when you spend a religious supply on a mission, squads can bring up to 3 animals that can whisper messages to other in the camp. Which I kind of love.
By the way, I'm just thinking about this. Shouldn't we be able to just create a heavy specialist, and that's our war moose?
I feel like it's
if it starts to speak, right, then that might become a point where it becomes a playable, like a PC.
Like the thing, I'm a big fan of not having to spend food when we advance. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm just not sure if it would actually, at this point in the game, matter so much.
Yeah, I guess, because like if we do a single, and all it does is like it messes with our morale, but all it does is mess with our morale.
Well, yeah.
The one that the ones that can really that can help us on the ground is there's Horn God's Eyes. If there's a Panyar specialist on a recon mission, add an engagement roll die, which is fantastic. Anytime you can get a bonus engagement die. But I also like the one where we can spend special armor to resist physical consequences or push ourselves on any prowess action.
That's the one that I was looking at.
Yeah, like that being able to spend armor to push yourself is kind of cool, and not having to pump stress into it.
Yeah.
So we got 2 food left. Is that correct?
Yeah, we had 3 and I just spent 1. So we had the Talgon to Callisto food, and then it'll be Callisto to High Road food, and then High Road to Skydagger keep food. So if we move every time, I think we should have exactly enough food.
Yeah, we should be fine. And even if we don't, if we do a recon or whatever, like a supply mission, we can.
Yeah, the asset rating of Fort Callisto is also 2. So
like that's one that you take at the start of the game.
Yeah. Also, we still have so many horses.
Yeah, I love the idea of it. Yeah.
We just going to eat the horses.
Easy now.
No, I'd rather lose morale than the
X card that. Okay. That's no good. Mess with our fire mains. Yeah. I like Horn God Stews. I like that because that's stuff we can do on missions, which is cool.
Yeah, if we want to, I think if we want to pick something that will be seen like on screen in fiction, that would be a good one, because I imagine special armor will come up.
Yeah, and right off the bat, because we've got, our next mission is a great big assault on the keep to try and free the keep. So,
yeah.
How do you feel about that, Matthias?
Yeah, that sounds great. I think the big question there is this a hidden potential that will only really reveal itself the first time it's used, or is this something where something actually happens in fiction that where our specialists are blessed? Or
I don't know. I feel a bit like this. For me, at least, this could possibly connect a little bit to what actually happened in the fiction last time.
Yeah, too.
In terms of the Legion being connected to the spirit of the forest in some way.
Mm-hmm.
How do we express that? Like, I feel like if I was reading this as a book, right? Something changed needs to be like shown.
Yeah.
Even if it's not completely clear yet. Oh yeah, that means this very specific effect. But do we? Is there a scene we could have with like certain specialists? I mean, Russet is kind of like.
Mm-hmm. I think it could definitely be a scene with some of the specialists here. I think both Russet and even Anthracite possibly would be cool for that. Cool, but let's we can keep that open for now, and then try to put it in a scene.
But yeah, so we're taking Horn God's Thews, I think, as our advancement for the horned one.
Cool. So then we have 2 tales to tell from our lore keeper here. The first one is tell a tale of the Legion's independence. After the old empire fell, the Legion became sellswords that hired out to causes they believed in. This is a tale of, and then there's some options here.
We don't have to go in that order, though, right?
No, we don't. Now you mean in the order of those 2 tales?
Or is it the case? This is actually so we need an independence tale.
Yeah, I do think like at least how I read it, the tales are supposed to be in that order because it's like a chronological thing.
Yeah, the way this sheet is formatted, definitely, right? With the chevrons, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
So and the points under there is where is the Legion's original charter stored? What unusual restrictions are placed on Legionnaires? And what cause has the Legion taken up previously? Is there any of those that speaks to you?
I mean, shouldn't each of us answer one of those questions? Is
Sure.
that how we're going to do it? Like, I think that's kind of cool.
Sure. I'm cool with that.
Oh, I think we only need to answer one, right?
Yeah, we only need to, but
okay.
We're doing this completely off track here, so we've been so good in procedural all this time.
Is this led by the lore master, or is that?
Yeah, normally.
Okay.
Normally, this would be the lore master telling that story, but now we're doing it in a different way. Is there anyone who wants to have a crack at one of those? And also feel free to interject with suggestions on how to do things, and also do things in a different way if you want to.
Yeah, I think the Legion's original charter. Like I think when the lore master comes out to tell the tale, there is he has a couple of legionnaires that come with him, and they are they've got like a like a banner that's been like carefully rolled and like wrapped in leather, and they kind of untie the thongs around it and they sort of slide the sleeve off and they raise the banner up on the pole, and it is a kind of sheet of like stained, maybe like ancient blood-stained muslin, and there are words inscribed on it in and down at the bottom there are like five bloody thumbprints on the bottom of it, and that is the original charter of the Legion was written on the flag of surrender from the force that they defeated when they first came together as the Legion. And they wrote that charter on that flag. And then each of them, like imprinted their, like half of them were probably illiterate at that time and stuff like that. So they just, like dipped their thumbs in the blood of their own wounds and, imprinted it on the flag. And so this is normally carried by the lore keeper, kept in his, Paul has described that kind of wagon that he travels in that's got all his stuff in there and everything. But it is when there's a ceremony where it's the original charter is invoked, they bring it out and they unfurl it. And hopefully there'll be a little breeze where it can kind of flap in the wind. You can see it laid out like that. But that's the original charter that he delivers this tale under as it kind of flaps there in the breeze. Kind of the all that kind of air and a little bit of noise kind of wafting up, from the valley where we're going to go down and fight that fight.
Yeah, I like that. Does anyone want to build on that with some of the other prompts? I have an idea, possibly. Cool. So I think there's like this air of reverence a little bit, like this doesn't happen a lot. And I think the lore master walks up to like this. I think it's like on like a little. It's on like some roots or something. So just like standing with one leg on the other off, like split on two like roots, and he looks at everyone and says, "We are closing on the end of this journey. I thought it might be time to remind you of our story. We were once someone else's subjects. We were all some people who of different armies, and but what we had in common is that none of us were free. But that stopped the day we made this charter, and of course none of you can remember because it was long before you were born. But I think it's important for you to know that we have always fought for the free folk of. We never fought for people who wanted to subject people to slavery or to own us or to crush us down under the weight of their tyranny. And that's still what we're fighting for, even if we're making haste through the forest, and some might think that it would be more glorious to stand up in battle in the open field. But we were never a legion who did that. We always made the battles where we had the best odds. And we have fought at Skydagger Keep before for a different cause. And that cause might not have been the worthy cause that time around. But that's sometimes what history does. It turns out you were at the wrong side. But this time we aren't. This time we aren't. And you're going to be in the books if you get there. And it doesn't matter if it's the last entry in the book. because you'll all be in there, and I'll make sure of it even if it's the last thing I do. And remember that's the only thing you need to remember. That's the only thing that you need to think about when you fight tomorrow, that you're going to be in the book. And you're going to be on the right side. And the Legion will be acquitted of its guilt.
Nice. I like that a lot.
Can I suggest a restriction, an unusual restriction placed on Legionnaires? Because I feel like it's a thing it's a thing we literally touched on in the previous scene. And I feel like while you're a Legionnaire, you're not allowed to like have a will or an estate, or like if you die while you're a Legionnaire, whatever you owned, whatever you had, the Legion decides how it gets dispersed and who it goes to. You're not allowed to have any say in it. You know, like that was the Viscount's cup. Here, you can drink out of it. We're going to give it to the next person. And that, you know, while you're doing this, while the Legion is your family, they are actually your family. So this is not a thing where like you can join the Legion and then say, you know, the pay I earned, send it home. You're fighting for the Legion with the Legion until you leave the Legion. And when you leave the Legion with whatever you came to the Legion with. You know,
Yeah.
like if you arrived with your fancy armor and your fancy gun from home, you can take that with you when you leave, you know, but you don't get to take something that you like plucked off an enemy commander or something like that, because that belongs to the Legion.
Is there anyone who wants to add anything additional to the scene?
I was thinking another restriction might be that like nobody in the Legion is ever like, you can't actually like retire. Like there's because we've seen a couple of like older people now in the Legion, and I think I mentioned that like Quartermaster Isaac used to be at like a mercy, and then basically like his body couldn't take any more wounds, so he became quartermaster. Like if you're older, you can get placed to a different role. Like they don't just keep sending you out to battle until you die, but like and it might in like most cases be more of a like a ceremonial type of thing, rather than like literally you could be called back to fight at any moment. But like I think maybe like there's no,
it's like you can't retire, you can leave, but it's not hardly ever anyone does that. Once you're part of the Legion, you tend to stay with it.
Because it's like you can't retire from your family, right?
Yeah.
You can go live someplace else.
Yeah.
But like I think you're like formally considered always like part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Nice.
Cool. You want to add something, Matthias?
No, I like that.
Awesome. So we also get to choose one effect on the Legion.
Oh, I've got an opinion about that.
Yeah.
I absolutely have an opinion about that.
Right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we getting gamey here, or do you have something driven by a different motivation?
Well, I feel like those things can overlap.
That's true, yeah, ideally.
I guess the question is, where are we at with our Blackshot grenade project?
It's been done. We're good.
That's done.
Yeah.
That's done. Okay, I didn't realize that was actually done. That's cool.
Yeah. We
But
don't
I'm
have any projects up right now.
Thinking along similar lines, Like, let's build some siege weapons.
No, I want to. We've just got like.
Yeah. And because we know that there's going to be siege weapons from the other side. Like, we're going into a thing where there's going to be siege weapons.
Yeah. Also, in the end game, it's a thing that gives you points.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. Like, yeah, I feel like the 3 ticks on a project is, because it gets us halfway done for most. Well, I guess it depends. I mean, there could be 4 clock projects and stuff. So, but
how do you build siege weapons? How many ticks is that? Is that somewhere?
It might be in the book because it's kind of a pretty.
I'm having a look. Siege weapons. It's on page 140, but that only describes what they are. Ballista, catapult, trebuchet, or cannon, used to assault fortified positions or powerful undead. These weapons are threat 3. A single siege weapon is one such weapon. But it doesn't say how big a clock it suggests for them.
I don't think it would be that big a clock because technically they're considered like the same asset type of rating as like an alchemist or something. Like I can technically find them with acquire asset. They're not something as special as the black shot grenades. So I don't think it would be as long a clock. The only thing that I was thinking was it does in that in the rewards. I know that we just took a couple of level 3 harms, and it offers healing corruption, which I don't think there's any other way to do in the game.
Yeah, the corruption reduction was definitely a thing that I was looking at too.
Really?
Although I guess we're not. Although we're not in terrible shape as far as that goes. Yeah. We don't have anybody that's really.
I think we've got one person with blight.
Yeah.
With like one level of blight, and that's anthracite.
Yeah.
And we're also kind of done with the religious stuff, I think, for the time being. I don't know.
The free healing tick is cool because didn't we have people get hurt last time because of?
That's true. Yeah.
Didn't we blow a secondary engagement roll?
So
I think we have 2 specialists with level 3 harm, and one of them is a heavy.
That would be nice.
This is true because if we want to assault next time, we kind of want our heavies and our officers and battle shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we could see Val and Kingfisher smashing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Free healing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Then, but that's only 1 tick, right? And level 3 has 3 on them.
That's kind of cool though, because of the prompt here, Legionnaire Shrug of all runes.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. So let's do that then. Yeah, because normally getting rid of 3 would be like rest action, boosted, plus a mercy. Yeah. And now we only have to worry about 2 ticks to eliminate it. So
that is true.
And anybody that had 1 gets that removed as well.
Yep.
Cool. We got that chosen then. And then the next story we have up here is Tell a Tale of Hardening in Battle. These undead are not the greatest threat the Legion has faced. Let me tell you a tale when we faced impossible odds. What terrible power did did this threat wield? How was this threat's unknown weakness found, and at what cost did the Legion overcome this foe? Anyone got an idea for that?
I feel like it would be cool to tie it into the name of one of the squads somehow. Like that would be a cool thing. But I don't know.
Yeah, so we haven't characterized the Silver Stacks or the Star Vipers at all. This might be an opportunity to give them more of a face.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Also, keep in mind that we are in a low fantasy world, except undead, I guess.
Yeah, but prior to this, there wouldn't have been undead as like.
Well, the occasional one, but never.
Yeah, not as a threat for an army, probably.
No. Just in terms of, because I was like thinking Star Vipers, and I was like, oh yes, giant magical snake, but that's not going to be a thing.
Well, but like there doesn't have to be a giant magical snake, but it can be, I mean,
the cult
Python.
Of the giant magical snake, right?
Yeah, and like like pythons in the real world can get 25 feet long. That's like
that's true. But for army though, but like it could be if you build on it several ones and there's like a cult or something, it could be for sure. If you wanted to do something with the actual snakes.
Local government official, Indonesia, python 48 feet long, 983 pounds. Like that's a real world animal. Like that's not a fantasy thing. Like that's a snake that's capable of, possibly, maybe swallowing a small horse or something like that. So,
that's where
you double that in size. That's a low fantasy monster, but it's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
And especially if there's a cult that rises up to feed travelers to it to appease it or something like that.
That's how the Star Vipers got their name.
Yeah, feed merchants to it or something.
Sure. You want to frame a scene around that story somehow? You have any thoughts about how to do that?
How about... I have an idea. I don't know if you had something. How about there's actually the scene where in front of the Star Viper tents or like what they've got set up, it's actually Voyous, the Kingfisher, who one day like pauses and looks a little bit closer at the banner and goes, "No way. You are those Star Vipers?" And those recruits who are like, what do you mean, which Star Vipers? No, this is your banner. I was...
Yes, sir. Well, you see, that's not an actual person and an actual snake because the proportions are all wrong. It's a metaphor of some kind. I haven't asked the lore keeper what it means, but there's some kind of there's like an allegory there of some sort.
No, it isn't. This shows Ugon.
Ugon?
Yes,
No, see, but it like the proportions are quite. That snake would have to be nearly 100 feet long.
It was. Let me tell you the tale. We were holed up and beaten down. And it was Ugon and his squad who came to our rescue. What was this? 30 years ago?
I would not have been born at that time, sir, so I can't confirm the veracity of your story.
What fancy words are you using on me? Are you trying to play a trick?
No, I don't. No, please continue your tale, sir.
Well, we were originally sent out. You've heard of the southern archipelago to the south of Panya?
Yes. Their principal export is the sea turtles that they catch off the coast.
Right. Well, we were there on I guess you would call it a diplomatic mission. Because there had been raids all along the coast by what someone, well, it translated to the cult of the snake or something like that. Well, we were sent there to see what was up and what wasn't. But when we got there, we saw the terrible things. They used to feed it 3-4 men a day. This thing that's on your banner. And they trapped us. And if it hadn't been for your captain, we wouldn't have made it. They came in and they killed the beast, and he beheaded the high priest. And then, well, when the commander of that time heard about that, she offered Ungon to take his squad and become part of the Legion. And tell you what, the humor of that man naming his own squad after the thing he killed. Well, I can't believe this banner still exists. And the Kingfisher's like stepping up close to it, and you can see that's like that it's old. It's been like patched up a little bit, but in one of the corners there's like still like a little sign of the original banner maker.
Is there a snake scale sewn into it?
Yeah,
like one great big snake scale like sewn into like the corner of it.
Yeah, and the Kingfisher finds it, right?
Yeah.
Here, feel here, and so you can feel it from the outside, and maybe it's like because it's like we're so war torn, right? There's even like others that you need to patch this up, but have a look, and
it's a lot of like drop jaws and no way and stuff like that. I think that's that's really cool.
Yeah. The question is, where'd the star part come from?
Which part? Oh, the star. Yeah.
Was a giant
I think. I think whatever language they speak down there, this is just a bad translation. It's like a right? Literally, it means Star Viper because of
like some pattern on its forehead or something like that, or
exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, it was maybe like a bad translation of like they called the snake like he who will eat the sun or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Star Viper.
That's fantastic.
Great. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
I think he said Star Viper, sir. That's
Yeah, I like that.
They have 17 words for snake, so it's kind of hard to. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I think you see. Did we say who we saw on screen? Who like everyone who was talking to voice?
Let me see if I can come up with the who is the one.
Oh yeah, these are all alrights.
They're all alrights,
Yeah.
aren't they? Yeah, totally. This is the one that was talking. Let's see.
So was it Garland? What do you think?
Or maybe Katabika. She has the same last name as the quartermaster, so maybe like it's not brought up, but like she has like the same like eyes or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. She wanted to go with that.
She also has the trait vengeful.
Yeah.
It runs in the family.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, I think we see probably a little bit later that night. You see like the Star Viper tent. There's nobody there, and you see like the smash cut where Dame Kadabika is like going into like this tent of the Ember Wolf, and just like you know what the voice just told us. And then you probably like it's subtext that everyone else is going to all the other tents and telling everyone.
That's fantastic. I really like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Then there's the reward.
I mean, it depends a little bit on how we want to frame the relief attack that we want to do next time, right? If it's like a swift attack.
I feel like the bonuses to wreck are going to be good because we want to destroy their siege engines. Right?
Yeah, exactly. If it's like getting swift move into the city somewhere, then it's 2. But if we want to actually like damage and really like cause real damage to them, then it's 3. I kind of like that. Like, let's get some wreck rolls in next time.
Yeah. Bust some shit up. Yeah.
Use some of those grenades, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and I kind of love that is also such an awesome response to, like, they killed the biggest snake anyone has ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, they somehow managed to slay that, like, to the point where, like, I think it's significant, and I kind of love that you did this, that the Kingfisher, who everyone is like, oh my God, it's the Kingfisher, he's like the baddest of the bad, is going, now those guys were badass. Like, is kind of cool. Yeah, it was like, I couldn't handle that minute to put out, so.
Yeah, that's cool.
+1 die to wreck. I'll take it.
Cool. Yeah, that's our floor keeper stuff, I guess. So what I was thinking we could do is to quickly try to power through the campaign phase, or at least do some more here, and then we can have a break. and then do some free play scenes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cool. Yes. So Quartermaster, take your campaign actions.
Okay, so I didn't. I'm to be honest, I didn't expect for us to be doing the campaign part. I thought it was gonna be all free play. So like, I haven't studied super hard. So we did rest and recuperate last time, so I don't have the mercy, but I'm wondering if we should do rest and recuperate.
Yeah, because we
Anyway.
can. Yeah, because it'll get boosted, right? Because we've got the cadre.
Does it affect him? Does it?
Oh, I don't know.
No,
Let's see.
he's not hurt.
Who all is it affecting?
It's going to affect Aurora. It's going to affect Valentina. Those two.
Oh, but that's it?
Yeah, those two both have level 3 harm. So they need it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was. Even if it's just the two of them, they're both pretty important. Was my line of thinking.
Yeah.
And yeah. Do we manage to get 2 points? Or does this work? I haven't really.
What are we considered high morale or?
No.
Okay. So just regular rest and recoup is 1 tick. I do have a supply that I could spend. But it's kind of like, are you thinking about sending Val and Aurora out next time, or no?
For a battle action would be great to have them, right?
Yeah.
But I can't send them out if they're like have level 3 arm.
Yeah. How's everybody's stress?
Stress is fine. People can trauma out, and then they're
Yeah.
back in the next scene with 0 stress.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think we have anybody that's got a ton of it, so.
Yeah, there's one person who has 5 stress, but like,
Russet's got 3.
Yeah.
yeah, Emilio has 6 stress, but then
Yeah.
he gets a trauma, and that's fine.
Yeah, the cadre's got 2, but whatever.
The problem is if we don't get 2 healing ticks, then it's almost not worth it to do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was thinking to do, unless anybody is like really strongly thinking that we should start building siege weapons.
Yeah, they're not going to be built by the end of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I decided they're going to be 4 tick. So there is definitely a way you could finish them. Possibly, it's possible, but
depending on how we roll.
Well, not today, I guess, but for the end score, like for Skydagger keep.
Yeah, but we can
not as worried about that.
Yeah, if we
Okay,
get into
so-
Callisto, we can then we can do those things. That cost a lot of resources, and
we've got time, so we could hunker down for a cycle or 2.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think it'll be rest and recuperate, and then I'll spend a supply to boost it, which means everybody gets 2 healing ticks on top of the 1 that we got as a reward.
Yep. Nice.
Okay. So I think that's all. That's me done, since we just had the 1 action.
Excellent.
Cool. And then the Legion, I guess, technically advances here. Yes.
Yeah, and then we can't move into the fort until we actually do our thing, right?
Yeah. So if you want to have free play scenes, I guess this is the point.
So when you advance, roll pressure minus horses uses spent, and add the amount of time that the die gives us. So, what do we have left for horses? How many horses do we have?
We've got horses for days. Right? 3?
We have 3 horses, which isn't that much considering that they're used for like a bunch of different. They're used for this, and they're also used for engagement rolls usually.
So, do we want to take our chances on rolling 3 dice?
Sure.
Can we spend 1? Up to you. Say no. If your opinion is no, say no.
I'm just trying to plan out ahead because like
that's cool.
We want to be, I think, probably pretty careful with our next engagement roll.
Cool. All right. So
that's
then I'm just going to go ahead and we'll just go ahead and roll pressure. See how we do here. It's not letting me. Oh, so do I need to just do this as a regular die roll or? Oh, pressure. There it is. I'm rolling it in the wrong place. Bonus dice none. Oh, there we go. There's our crit. Fantastic. So that happens now.
That's not what we wanted, right?
Yeah, no. 3, 4. I'm going to mark 5.
Yes.
5 time ticks. Fall deepens, and that smoke on the wind is Panya burning.
Oh no. Well, that happened.
Yeah.
No.
All that time management. Well,
no. Okay. So I just want to be super clear. All that time management happens so that when that inevitably does happen, we're still okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is why all that time management happens, and then pressure goes back to 0.
You can afford it. It's still
like it's not good. We don't want it to happen again, but like we got through it, and there's no pressure associated with breaking the siege. Like if we fail to break the siege, that doesn't add pressure or anything like that. It's just we gotta go at it again with people hurt and stuff like that. So
cool.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that's like, and it feels like that is that, like, once we clear the forest, we no longer have the protection of the forest, and suddenly they're on us again.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense also with the framing that we did earlier with so that's fine. Cool.
Coming up from the south and everything.
Yeah. Let's have a little break. Let's say 10 minutes.
Sounds good to me. 20 of you.
Let's see a bit.
And we're back, ready for some drama. We have concocted some ideas about how we're gonna set up for our possible smooch scene, and of course, it's not gonna come without some hard trials for poor Livel and Midi. So and also we talked about wanting to see a promotion scene last time. So that's what we're going to do first up. So, and I'm going to frame this. I think we are. I think we are on the edge of the forest. Like we camped. It's the last night before like the big battle at Fort Callisto, and we camped out like pretty close to the forest edge, and you can probably almost hear the noise of the like battle ahead. Like even though there probably is like varied levels of engagement going around at Fort Callisto, right now you can't. It's quiet again, but definitely you've been woken up sometime during the night of some ruckus related to that. And it's a morning, like I don't know what's it called. Like all the legionnaires lined up in their squads, and I mean, in a regular military unit, this would be like a pretty like people are straight up. They have been their equipment is on par, and their uniforms or whatever is nicely like groomed. But of course the Legion is not a regular military unit, so it's not like that. People are up. This is like the daily time to inform people about what's going on, and today also to do the pep talk. Probably the plan has already been gone through. Everyone knows what they're doing, but this is like the last send off before we start moving towards Fort Callisto. The commander has already had like this motivational speech, I guess, like firing, egging the troops to do their best and to do their job, and this is like the time where usually, and I think this is we haven't like completely established how promotions work. I think that actually people get promoted by being sponsored by a specialist. And I think at this morning, like it's like the regular kind of thing where the commander goes up, says whatever they're going to say about things that are going on. Maybe the marshal says something if there's something related to organization, or the quartermaster says something if it's related to equipment. Today there's only been the commander, and then usually the squads are like out in front, and then at the side of where maybe even behind the commander, the specialists are lined up, because they're not in the formation of the squads. The commander would like kind of turn towards the specialists and ask if they have any promotions today, and they go this is where like the scene starts, and the commander turns towards them, and I think probably expects no one to say anything, because it's the day before the battle. This is not really a time where you would usually get promoted, and the last battle has been a little bit of time since that. So a few ticks of time, actually 5, I guess, possibly. But actually, and I won't. And I think like actually, now the Voyas Kingfishers like steps forward, and like addresses the Legion, and I guess who want to play Libel for this one? I think possibly.
Well, I've been playing Libel all along, so
sure. Yeah, I think the Kingfisher stands in nods to the commander and steps forward and looks over the crowd and is like, well, I have been thinking long and hard about this. I have to admit that I did not expect this person to be of such potential when I first met him. In fact, even though they were very brave, they did rash decisions, which possibly could have led their comrades into danger if it wasn't for, dumb luck. And I think he smiles because he's of course referring to Libel talking to him in a matter of fact way. And he says, well, but after the last engagement we had in the forest protecting the holy place of the Horned One, I've thought long to reconsider. In fact, there is a quality to this braveness. I always thought that being brash and not thinking about the danger in front of you was something that makes a soldier die fast. But I have to admit, Libel, and he looks at you, that your dumb tactics has made me reconsider.
Sir, it is difficult to worry about the danger in front of me when you are the danger behind me.
And I think he smiles and laughs a booming laugh. Can you come to the front, Libel?
And I just kind of nod once and kind of throw a glance and a little grin over my shoulder at Adhikar, and walk on up there.
He when you come up, he takes I think he gives you this good clasp on your shoulders, and says, bravery like the bravery of Libel will be needed in the days to come. We won't have the luxury of being more thoughtful about our engagements. We'll have to rely on our bravery and guts. And you, Libel, will go into this battle as a soldier. And I'm going to ask the table here, what does the what do you get? What does the person get symbolically that marks you as a soldier, no longer a rookie?
How about just a proper sword or weapon of some kind? What's the standard issue weapon? Short sword of the Legion, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I imagine maybe it being a standard weapon of the culture you're from. where is Lionel from? Which culture is he from? He's
Semyati.
Semyati.
What is a traditional weapon of the Semyati, Joel? You think?
Sal uses a axe.
Yeah, I think probably axe then, and of course, Voyage is also a Semyati. So I think he takes out of his belt this axe that is of course probably used to be his weapon before he started using his giant sword, and hands it over. You see, it's well used. The blade has been sharpened many a time, and it's probably even almost a bit small in a way, because it's been sharpened so much that there's actually a significant amount of the axis gone. And who knows who big it once was, but it's still big enough to for a soldier. And he hands it over to you. Watch out, you might cut yourself.
And I grin, and I stand ramrod straight and very formally salute him, because I know that will annoy him.
Yeah, and I think he laughs and says, you my dumb friend, that's exactly what I expected of you. And he goes in for this mega bear hug.
Yeah. All right.
And I think he whispers in your ear, and he says, I hope your bravery doesn't kill you today, my friend.
And I grin and I whisper back to him, what do I say? I gotta say something cool. I think I say that thing you know what? With you at my back, with you at my back, I think I'll always be more lucky than dumb.
Yeah, and you see I think you see his eyes almost a little wet, and he turns towards the crowd and shouts, "What are you looking at? Are you ready to go now or what?"
And I kind of hold the axe up and I kind of wag it at Atticare and I say, "I've dug my last latrine, friend." And then, sheath it and walk back over to the squad to get congratulated. Squad.
Nice.
Does anyone want to add anything to that?
No, I like that. That's
cool. Let's see then.
Although there's one bit. If this is directly the night before, then I don't have any time for what I wanted to do. So
maybe it could be a day's march or something. I don't know.
Bravery could get him killed any day.
Yeah,
it's a dangerous world out there.
Yeah, and we do not need to be that definitive, right? So
that can totally be something that happens in the morning, and then we've got the rest of the day to.
Yeah. Because my question is, what does Lionel now do with all this free time where he used to have to dug latrines? Do you actually does Lionel, because Lionel can fight, right? We've kind of established that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that a thing where we see Lionel maybe actually taking care of his like no proper soldier equipment, armor, this new axe, other weapons you might have access to?
I mean, honestly, I think there might be like a little squad hazing thing where like I do actually have to dig my last latrine.
Okay.
It's like a ceremonial thing where like I dig the last one and then I hand a shovel to like the youngest rookie.
Yeah, it's a Zeke friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like our own little ceremony within the squad.
Nice. And then that's obviously like probably drinking or something, right? Like a little bit of celebration.
Yeah, and like if we wanted this to be a meet cute scene of some kind, this is certainly the kind of thing where like they might invite other squads or passersby to like heckle me while I'm, you know, stripped to the waist, shirtless, sweaty, digging out the, you know, this like,
well,
it's probably a little too cold to be like actually shirtless, stripped to the waist, but that's how you got to do it and stuff.
So what I was imagining is because I think like those recruits who are like the youngest ones who are there for like the menial tasks, they all kind of know each other between the, like at least, right? Because they've like they help each other out when it's possible or not, so they at least know of each other. Because I think I want a scene where Meaty catches up with Livel, like when the attention has died down from it.
Sure.
Maybe if it's like whatever, the next morning or when you're
I mean,
like after the hazing, and it's like,
I mean, do you want it to be just like in the like in the chow line or whatever?
No, she seeks you out somewhere where like there are no direct prying eyes or something like that, right?
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah. So I think she'd probably find me sitting at the like the grinding stone, right? Like the sharpening wheel.
Yeah.
And I'm like kind of like I've got that thing where I'm, you know, you like pump it with your foot to get the wheel spinning, right? And I'm like holding the axe and kind of like looking at it dubiously, and I kind of like experimentally lay it against the wheel, and it like sparks fly out, and I kind of yank it back a little because I'm like not used to using an axe like this, I think.
Yeah.
Like the Kingfisher gave me this axe without asking me, like, you know, I'm used to like regular like short sword like the Legion has, and now I'm supposed to, you know, and so, but I at least want to look like I know what I'm doing. So I think she comes upon me kind of like dubiously trying to like sharpen this axe.
Yeah. And Meaty is completely oblivious to that part. Like we as the audience, I think, definitely recognize that, right? But Meaty, she's like carrying a bundle under an arm, and has this look of utter determination on her face as she steps up to you, and in a grave tone of voice she says, "Livel, I need your help."
I hope it. I hope you don't need my help sharpening an axe.
No.
Oh,
no.
Well, then hopefully I should be able to help. I'm just gonna set this down, I say, and kind of like lean it again, like as I kind of stop. You know, the grinding wheel kind of slowly spins to a stop, and I just sort of lean it against the edge, and I turn around, and I'm just kind of casually like, okay, what is it?
You need to help me to learn to fight.
It's a little late for that, isn't it?
What do you mean? I need to fend for myself.
Well, I mean, you've done pretty well so far, haven't you?
Livel, last time Val almost died trying to protect me.
So what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, and she unwraps the bundle, and it's got like 2 practice wooden swords in it, right? And she takes one, shoves it into your arms, and takes the other with like both hands. What I'm saying is, you're going to teach me how to use these.
So okay. I just want to make sure that we understand what we're talking about here. Val is fine.
Yeah, we've had some time to rest.
Val's fine. Val's fine?
Now she is again. She wasn't fine.
But she is now. So here's the thing about almost dying is that almost dying is living. We're all almost dying. Always, every day. Okay. So,
are you going to teach me to fight or not?
Yeah, sure. And I just snap the sword out hard and like hit her hard, like on her knee, like to just like knock her off her feet. Like I don't even stand up. Just whap, like really hard on the knee.
Yeah, and I think Meaty like yells out, drops the practice sword, right? And like glowering at you, ow! Ah! And hops on like 1 foot backwards.
Okay. What did you learn there?
What? What
did you
learn?
What
supposed to learn?
What did you learn? I'm teaching you how to fight. What did you learn about fighting with that? And I stand up and I kind of like reach down and I like using the like tip of the wooden practice sword. Yeah. I like kind of catch it under the other sword and just like flip it into the air so that she can, catch it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think she does. And what to never ask you to teach me?
Okay. Yeah, right. yeah. Okay. So here. And like I toss the sword into my left hand because I'm left-handed, and I like take a stance, like a fencing stance, and I say, okay, we're gonna fight. Try and just hit my right leg. I say.
Well, that's stupid. Your right leg is at the far end. Why wouldn't I hit you like your left leg?
Is this a lesson? Am I teaching you or not?
But you're not making any sense.
Well, if you came to me, right? And this is a fight, and we're going to fight by my rules, right? Because that's how you fight.
Oh, okay, what are the rules?
That's a good question. If you and I are fighting for fun, because let's face it, this is fighting for fun, then the rules are whatever we want them to be.
And she like interrupts you and goes for a wild whack that's not aimed anywhere, but it's going somewhere.
Yeah, and like smacks me hard on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I kind of like do one of these. Yes, you are learning to fight.
Okay. I'm not sure I am, but yes.
You are. See, now, if a hound comes at you, if a zombie is trying to rip your face off, they're not going to square off against you, give you the opportunity to, take a stance like that. They're just gonna come at you.
Okay, so what do I do?
Don't die.
Ivo. How do I do that?
Here's the thing. Here's the secret. Do you want to know the secret?
Yeah. What's
And
the
I kind of
secret?
and I lean in and I kind of just put an arm conspiratorially around her shoulders, and I kind of like put my lips right over her ear, and I say, "Nobody knows. The commander doesn't know. The Kingfisher doesn't know. The Chosen, she doesn't know. You only know it when you're there. So you went on a mission, right?" And like having conveyed that nobody knows, I then kind of like step back and I say, "You went on a mission, right?
Yeah.
Did you come back alive?"
I did, but I don't think it was any of my own doing.
Oh yeah, it was of your own doing. We all work together, but at the end of the day, the only one that keeps you from dying is and I like gently tap, a finger right on her, on her armor. Tap, tap, tap.
Okay. Thank you, Livel.
Have you ever sharpened an axe?
I mean, yeah.
Thank the Chosen, because I have no idea what I am doing here. What can you show me?
Yeah. I mean,
All right, so I hunker back down in front of the wheel, and I got it, and I get it going, and I'm like, how fast should it be? And I put it on there, and I do like some like shitty thing where I like grind it way too hard, and sparks go flying to get her to go, no.
Yeah, no, whoa, you don't want to ruin it.
Okay, well, so come here, and I like wave like this.
Yeah, and she comes.
And to try and get her to like lean over, like one hand on this hand, the other hand on this hand. I'm like, okay, so
she's like, with your foot, it needs to be a smooth rhythm. Like,
okay,
start
too fast.
Start slow, and it needs to be continuous. Otherwise, you're going to ruin the edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I think, can we fade out on her like leaning over me, kind of hands on mine, like?
And we see sparks fly from front of them, but we're at the back of the two. Yeah.
There are literal sparks flying here. Yes, yeah, I think that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
I like that it's exactly Ghost, but with an axe. A little pottery.
Totally. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some Motown playing in the background or something like that.
Use Patrick Swayze.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Teach me how to fight. Well, you got to be nice until it's time not to be nice. How will I know? You'll know. That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. I love that. Just gonna fix overlays.
Yeah, I went out there for a second. I don't know what happened. Oh well, yeah, I did enjoy that. It was cool. I guess we have gone down our checklist of scenes we wanted, right? Is there any other wishes before we go into battle?
I think the only thing was we hadn't decided whether or not we wanted a scene of the Chosen leveling up.
Oh right, yes, that's true. Yeah, cool.
That might actually also be a very cool like epilogue scene for this session today, right? If we want to do that.
Yeah. I imagine like it being something you can see as we. So since we did say like I imagine like retconning what to fit this scene into our timeline, I imagine it being like the speech and the promotion stuff being in the morning, and then we're moving in the evening for the battle. So we had like the day there, and I imagine probably it being something you can see as we leave the forest somehow. And I don't have like a clear idea of that, but I wanted to like put it out there if someone wants to do something with that. If not, I can also, I guess. But doesn't anyone have like any thoughts or ideas on how this might look? I imagine it being like pretty, to like paint the scene a little bit. I imagine it being actually kind of like it's in the night, and but the sky is clear, and there's like this full moon that is lighting up it pretty significantly. It's a pretty big moon. And I mean the moon is broken, so there's like shards somehow. So I guess because the god of the moon, Nyx, chosen god turned, and then the moon broke. So I don't know exactly how this light looks. I think it looks a bit more like
I really want that broken moon to be a ring, like Saturn or something like that, or like Neptune, like the it's shattered and all the shards are in orbit, and they all catch the light, so it's like this it's like this ring of super close stars. Not like an orb that's busted in half, but like, no kidding, it just got blown to smithereens and has fallen into orbit around our world, and so it's now a ring.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think like you see probably like the shadows of the people of the Legion like leaving, mostly in like gray tones. It's probably quite quiet. I'm imagining, not because they have to, but because people are thinking about whatever they're thinking about the night before going into a big battle where they might die. Yeah, and there as the Legion leaves the forest, there's like some kind of change that we can see manifesting as the spirits of the forest somehow comes with them, or at least part of it. How does that look? Is there any ideas?
Well, I kind of have an idea for maybe what like the change in the Horned One could be. So I think when we were doing the kind of a lot of the rituals that we've done actually involving the forest have actually been like destructive. And then the last one we did was like with the pine cones that had to be burnt so they could open. And with the broken coming and like burning the forest behind us, I think it's like they thought that burning the Horned One's home would like break her and like ruin her spirit, but actually like she's also kind of like those pine cones. Like she breathes in the smoke of Panyar burning, and it actually just makes her stronger.
That's awesome. That's that like natural fire renewal.
Yeah, like
yeah,
the forest fire like renewal thing that we were doing before.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I also like to build on that because it also like affects all the soldiers, I guess, with their like special armor. I imagine like you see it like this, almost like this carpet of what looks like I guess like fog or smoke or whatever at the feet of the soldiers as they're leaving. And I think like as we're actually leaving the forest, and you would expect maybe the smoke to dissipate, it kind of like curls up around this person's leg and like around their armor. You can see like, this slight hint of like smoke. like around this person's like chest. He's probably like focusing on only this one person. And we like smash cut to the horn run. Do we see any change does the change manifest in any way on her?
I think it would. Like, I looked up, I didn't know what fuse meant, so I looked it up, and it's muscles and tendons perceived as generating physical strength. So I think maybe it's like the I think it's kind of like a God of War type situation. Like the ashes like start settling on her skin in like a kind of a swirling pattern that follows along like the lines of the muscles or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like glowing in the striations of the muscles and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like kind of emerald color.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And she looks totally yoked.
Oh, that's cool.
She has an 8-pack now.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think like the camera probably like pans around with like the horn one and the Legion moving, and you see like in the distance you see like the fires on Fort Callisto, and the camera probably like it goes towards, and you see like this big army of Render outside with their like siege weapons pounding like big like rocks and stuff at the fort with catapults, and then the end credits roll.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's like the episode of a show where you're like, yeah, no, we're staying up, we need to watch the next one. I want to know how that battle goes down.
Yeah. I heard they spent 1/3 of their entire special effects budget for the season on this one. Yeah. So,
I'm exactly thinking of this like episode
2,000 extras. Yeah.
Before the like long night episode in the last season of Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, except better.
I think we can do that.
We had some fan servers too, but it wasn't like that bad.
Yeah.
Cool. I really liked that session. It was fun. Getting to dive more into the characters. That's our session for today, and we're gonna go around the table real quick to say goodbye. I'm Mikael. This is my channel. And we'll be back here next week with Band of Blades, hopefully at least. I don't think there's I don't have any reason to suspect otherwise, at least for now. And to see the battle at Fort Callisto trying to break through the army of Render with probably another army in the back coming out of the forest that's burning. So yeah, it's going to be fun to see if how that goes with all this build-up, and I really look forward to that. I'll tweet about it on Twitter. Probably also maybe putting out the VOD a bit more than half an hour before the next session next time, as the professional producer that I am. That's it for me. My Twitter is there. Yes, up. You can find all the information you need about times and stuff there. That's me. You want to go next, Jim?
Yeah, I'm Jim. I love this session. Any time where I get the chance to like chew on the scenery and use my drama degree that I that I got many years ago in college is super fun. I'm really glad that we got to our one die roll was terrible. So I'm glad we didn't have to make any others for the rest of the session. So, but yeah, really looking forward to it. But it is also fun to have a great big knockdown, drag out fight scene, action scene, and we haven't had one of those in a little while. So really looking forward to next week. I can't actually see our frame thing. Is my Twitter address somewhere up, down, left, right, or
above you, right above you?
It's above me. Yeah. At Jim Likes Games, because that's what I do. I like games. So, Matthias, you want to go next, or Joel, or what order are we going in?
We're all anarchists here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know I can go next. You can find me at mthsbljar on Twitter. And you can actually find my little supplement for Powered by the Apocalypse and for Forged in the Dark games as well. It's called Sense of an Ending on itch.io. I just got a Sandy Puck Games Award for it, for nominated for Best Digestive Supplement. Yeah, and there's still free copies available, so like pick one up. Well, I've got some free ones out there. This has been super fun. Yeah, I love that we get to have this this very fluffy flavor session today. It was actually exactly what I needed for my day and for my evening. And next time we'll have a very straightforward, we need to fight. And that'll be awesome too.
Yeah. Hey. I'm Joelle. You can find me at DineJoelle on Twitter, which is up or down. I don't know. Y'all are smart. You can figure it out. I trust you. Yeah. That's it. I mentioned before, I have a tier 1 adventure on DM's Guild, A Place to Call Home. So check that out if you want to. That's about it. That's all I got going on right now.
Yeah, I have been thinking of having a look at that and maybe seeing if I could, play it. Maybe even put it on stream sometime. Be fun. All this hype about this game now, I have to it has like a tier of awesomeness or something. Isn't that it?
Oh, yeah, I got the copper medal thing. I'm writing a new one now, so you guys can help me play test it.
Oh, cool! Yeah, sure.
I'm totally on board with that. Yeah, that's like that's a good reason to play D&D. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. I have all the books that I spent money on, and I haven't played it in like years. So now I have a good reason to. Cool. So that's it for us for this week. Thank you all for watching, and see you next week hopefully for some grand battle stuff.